But the point is that we've learned to be afraid of things that won't kill us, which means we can probably do them anyway and we'll live. So we can apply that. So in my world, what that looks like is I am terrified that if I show up as me, I will be rejected. But I can tolerate it, and it won't kill me. And I can go out there and do what feels right to me in the presence of fear. And when we do that, we have two things. First of all, we start to increase in our confidence. Every time we tolerate an emotion, we go, oh, I'm stronger than I thought. I can tolerate that. That wasn't as bad as I thought. But the second thing that we learn is agency. That is not a laughing matter. But the second thing we learn is agency. I am not hostage to my emotions. I can do what feels right to me in the presence of fear. I'm braver than I thought. And what you're now doing is you're creating evidence for a new belief. And that belief is, I am strong and I am brave. So when we can change how we respond to the fear, we can start to open ourselves up to rejection. And there's a very good reason why we would want to do that. I believe that rejection is actually rather wonderful, and we can reframe how we experience rejection. And I'm going to take you back to Afghanistan to illustrate how I learned this. So, when I was on that final tour, we were assigned a hostage recovery mission. And we were told there was a lady, she was in the hands of the Taliban, and the powers that be were trying to negotiate her release. And if they got the green line, we were going to have to go quickly and go get her out before the Taliban changed their mind. So we were expecting to go at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I briefed my crews and I sent them to bed for a good night's sleep. At midnight, I got a call to say, that's not going to happen before 10 p.m. tomorrow night. So I knew we were looking at a long day. And in the flying world, we have crew duty rules because it's been proven that if you've been on shift for a long time, your errors go up. So I had to think quite carefully about what to do. Now, I could have woken them up in the middle of the night and said, go back to sleep, but have a lie-in. But I decided I was going to keep them in their beds and accept that they would have a long day the next day in the knowledge that they'd had a good night's rest. So when they came back in the next morning, I briefed them that this was the plan. And most people accepted that with no problem at all. But two people, I'm going to call them Bill and Ben, they got really upset about this. And they said, this is outrageous. What do you expect us to do all day? And I said, I don't really care. We've got a hostage to go and get. Now, I couldn't have done that if I hadn't been able to reject them and accept that they might reject me back. And they did. They grumbled about it for a long time, and I know that made me unpopular. So rejection is actually essential if we want to lead in accordance with our values and do the right thing in that moment. And I don't regret for 1 second that I rejected them and they rejected me. Now, maybe that's pretty instinctive. I'm sure there is nobody here in this room that would go, sorry, hostage, not coming for you. Of course we want to go and do the right thing, don't we? So maybe that's not particularly surprising. But what I think is just as important is that they needed to reject me. Because there is no point sending 6 people to die to try and save 1. And I had to know that I wasn't compromising the safety of my crews by sending them on a mission at the end of a long day. And the only way that I could be confident that I was making the right decision was if I knew they would say no to me.